Wagwan people, shut up boy hapa hivi. It is a very cold and beautiful Tuesday morning. Tuko hapa kupelekana na step, as you know, each and every Tuesday we meet here to talk things that affect me, affect you, and everyone around us. Sindio? Today it is a man talk. Niko hapa na CJ.
How you doing?
I'm great.
All right.
How have you been? I haven't seen you for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, because you went away. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah, this is the 3rd week.
That's 3 weeks.
I went to Makweni. I saw somewhere CJ is the head of this house. And I told you and you did not respond.
Yeah, I shared it around with a few people so that they know.
They know?
Yeah.
All right. Also, Willis will be joining us. Ako tu pahali. We Bazu, anytime ukitaka kutujoin, feel free. Sindio? We Bazu uko wapi? How are you? Okay. Akikujanga, akifika, watu wa Manchester, I know that is what they do. So guys, leo tunataka kuongelea, unajua sometimes tunaambiwa sisi kama wanaume we are unfair because each and every time you hear, oh, udem is your wife material, oh, this girl has to do this and that to be wife material. What about men? What does a man have to do to be husband material? Is there any pedigree or some level of achievement or things that this man needs to do for him to be classified as husband material? Is there? I'm not sure. Let's find out. We start with start with CJ. Huyu anashindaga ameongelesha watu. CJ. Are men unfair? We start there. Are we unfair when we say this girl is not wife material, she needs to do this and that and that? There is some level of things that she needs to do for her to be classified as a wife material. But when it comes to men, is there some level that men need to achieve to be called husband material?
Yeah, I think it is unfair to look for wife material and not be the husband material. I have said before that, you know, no matter how good material is, you need to be a good tailor. Have you ever taken good, you have this very good material, then you take it to a tailor and he messes it up.
And he messes it up big time.
So even if we have wife material and they're good material, in the hands of the wrong tailor, it will be messed up. So it is important that we understand that it takes two to tango. You can't just put expectations on one side. Both of us have a role to play if this is going to work. It's again like in any sports. You have good players, bad coach, you may not attain the results. You have a good coach, bad players, you may not attain the result. There has got to be a synergy on both sides. So even for men, we need to be a certain kind of men to bring out the best in the women that we marry. Marriage is a whole journey. No matter how good somebody is, for example, we may say this person is a wife material, but everybody is still on a journey in life. So they will still need to improve, become better. Sometimes it's not even about character. Sometimes it's now about their visions, their dreams, who they become in life, their self-confidence, how they view themselves, how they grow. And the man should be able to pull out that from this person. So the question is, does the man have the ability to do that? If this person brings themselves, spirit, soul, and body, to be under you, in a sense, do you have the capacity to lead that, to manage that, to help that, to cultivate that, to build them so that they become better? Because they're still on a self-improvement program, even when they are with you. So it is important then to look at certain factors in the man. There are women who have gotten married and their lives just went down. They lost everything, you know, in self-esteem, they lost self-belief, they lost vision, they lost self-care. But when they went in, there was no doubt as to who they were. But if they met, for example, an insecure person or somebody who is still dealing with their traumas or somebody who is just abusive or somebody who's controlling, and then they don't work out their issues, somewhere along the line, that material gets messed up. So I believe that the man has to be a certain kind of a man for that relationship to work.
True. But you see, for ladies, it's easy when there are things that we know, that we look for. Like say, maybe the way she addresses herself, how she speaks, how she introduces herself, how she carries herself around people. So many things that you know, and you look at in men's circle, and we say, you know what, I think this is wife material. How for men, we are accustomed to providing security and just being there. So there are things that won't be seen unless you're already in the marriage. Okay? So what do you look for then before you get to the point that now I'm dating this man? What is this that this man needs to have, that, like from the get-go, you need to have A, B, C, D?
The first thing I say is that every husband must be a leader. This is the first L I use, to lead. And for anybody to lead, they first of all must be able to lead themselves. So how does this person carry themselves? Now, you can never separate leadership from vision and decision making. And you also won't separate it too much from management as well. But when you talk about vision, where does this person see themselves? They can only take you either to where they have been or where they see. If they don't see anything in the future, then there's no future you're going into. That is where people begin to frustrate themselves. When you have the conversations in the initial coffee, you need to hear, where does this person see themselves in the future? What is their vision? Who are they trying to become? What are they trying to achieve? What are the things that really matter to them? So you've got to look at what is their vision and see whether you fit into that vision. Then there's that element also of decision making. You cannot lead if you are not able to make decisions. And the word decision itself is from two root words. D means to cut off, it's to disconnect, really. And then decision is the cutting. So when you talk about circumcision, you're talking about cutting around. Incision is cutting inward. Yeah. Decision means you're cutting off. Does this person have the strength to cut off some things? When I'm faced with two choices, like next week, we will make a decision, which means you can't vote for every candidate. You're going to choose one and refuse the other. Yes. So can this person make decisions? Because they cannot lead if they can't make decisions. You'll get to places where you have crossroads. You'll get to places where a decision is to be made now. It is either life and death, or it is either something that, affects your finances, affects your children, affects your future. There are all of those things that will come. If the person is indecisive, the woman will get frustrated over time. And sometimes, probably if we get feedback, you'll hear ladies talk about men who, they can't decide. And that's something that women look for in men. A man who is decisive and who is able then to take responsibility for the decisions that they have made. Now, so there has got to be that element of vision. There's got to be the element of decisions. But also when you're talking about the ability of a man to lead, what are his values? What are his values? What does this person stand for? If I'm going to follow you, I need to know that you stand for something, and whatever you stand for is not at variance with what I stand for. So what are this person's values? Does he have value for family? Does he have value for hard work? Does he have value for community? Does he have value for certain things? If your values do not match, there's going to be a problem, because it will be leading you a certain way that you do not want to go. So you start having issues, So the first thing that I would say about a man being a husband is him being a leader. And in leadership, it doesn't mean that you are better than the other person. It just means that you have the privilege and the opportunity and the position to give guidance and give direction and give hope. That's what a leader is supposed to do. They're supposed to give direction. They're supposed to give hope. And then they're supposed to pull out certain things from the other person. When we do, because I run a whole module, I've got a School of Leadership. When we do that, I talk about the three basic roles of a leader. And one of those is to develop the individual. So do I have the capacity to develop this person? See, it's not always, Shatta, it's not always about money. You can give somebody money, but you're not developing them. You can give money and stuff to children without raising those children. So can I help this person develop? most men will talk about, you know, when you have this, what we call the empowered woman, and then they say, you can't marry these ones. They're difficult to marry. They're not wife material and stuff. Sometimes it's just because we are intimidated on whether we can lead them. Can we offer direction? This woman will have her money, yes. But then, can I still guide her? If I have wisdom, insight, knowledge, skill, expertise, I'd still have a role to play there.
Hold it there. Where she has her money and you leading.
Yes.
Bazu. CJ amesema she can have her money but you still lead. But we both know that in the current world that we're living in, leadership has been equated to who has more money. Whoever has money makes decisions in whatever situation. First of all, how are you? How is Manchester United taking you?
First of all, niko salama sana. I hope you can hear me clearly. But first of all, wacha niseme kwamba hezi sija amekuja hapo na mambo's incisive, decisive, circumcised. But that is actually very true. I think one of the things that men fail to do before I answer your question is exactly what CJ is pointing out. You see, for example, like you said, he has a leadership module that he's running, right? Men fail to look for information, look for such things as that to enhance and grow and make, you know, we are so used to doing things our own way that we don't want to sit down and be taught. So we're walking around with no mentors, no coaches. We're just doing life as it comes rather than watching just other men. And then we seem to have our own set of rules. And that's why there's a lot of pressure about tunataka a lady who can cook, a lady who can clean, a lady who can do this. And on the other hand, you're not ready to make some of those sacrifices, the sacrifice that will make you a better man yourself. Ikikuja kwa time ya kudigialde makona pesa, that's a whole different ballgame. It's not bad, absolutely not bad for women to have their own money. It is, in fact, it is encouraged to have your own money, to make your own money. It is great. And it's not even about what do you bring to the table. No, it's just independence. There's just something good about having your own money. And I believe everybody should be able to feel that. But then it's because of the experience. I think also over time, there's been so much talk on women empowerment, and it's great, it's beautiful, it's amazing. But some, remember I've said some women get lost in it and then use independence as now disrespect to men. It happens to some. And that's where the problem comes. Where sasa, and even if it's an argument, kama unaongea hivyo na mimi na kulipia hii, kama wewe ni mwanaume ulipe rent, you know. So it needs a very mature sort of couple to be able to balance when it comes to issues with money, because even statistically, money is the cause of divorce in the country. It's the number one cause. It's not even side chicks, you wife number 2, secret wife number 7. It's not all about that. It's about money. But I think that men also put so much pressure on women to become this model, ideal wife material. And like CJ says, you need the right tailor. So I think also it is very important that men begin to deliberately take steps to better themselves, to find out what does it take to be a good husband. Read some books. At the very least, Google. What does it take to be a good husband? You know, what does it take to be a good man? What things do I need to deal with so that I'm not bringing some baggage to another relationship? So these are the things that I think are basic that men should do. Na uchukue tu time yako, kusoma pia ni mzuri sana. And it's not even a deep dive read, you know, and things have become so easy now. You know, you can Google and like you said, chukua course ya CJ, wacha leo tupigie CJ debe. Please take CJ's leadership course, it will help you.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Fire. Hapo. Hiyo umesema lakini ameogopa kujibu mambo ya Manchester. Anyway, ni sawa. Before to tell CJ, let us have the question of the day. We are asking you, sana magal childini nyinyi mujiachilie. I want to know, what is it that you think? The question is, what makes a man a husband material? In your own definition and understanding, what makes a man a husband material? Kulingana na wewe, sio mtu mwingine. Okay? Willis has said you need to read a lot as a man. But we all know, hata watu walisema bana, if you want to hide something from us, weka ndani ya kitabu, we will not get it. Because why we don't read? But guess what? CJ has written 10 books.
Yeah. 10 books.
So CJ does a lot of reading and writing, and there's something Willis has said about Googling. Okay. Now, you know, when you go to the internet, there's misinformation and there's information.
Right.
Now, you're here, you're lost in between. You don't know which is true and what not to follow.
Yeah. There
must be some basic things as a man that actually you just need to have this. Whether, hata kama una feel una misinformiwa aje. You know, when we say a man is the head of the home,
right.
You know, we say you are the president, we don't say now you start ruling over people, you just preside over people, yes?
Yeah.
So there are people that will go read, then misunderstand what they are reading because you're told you're the head of the home. So when you come home, you start now ruling over people, you know? So how do you decipher the information you get?
You know, when I talk about the leadership, I said first, the man should be able to lead himself. And that is true for every form of leadership. You first become a leader before you get a position of leadership. It's how you carry yourself around. So I will see that Shatta wakes up in the morning, he works out, he will pray if he is a spiritual person, he will read. I'll see how you manage your day, how you manage your time, how you manage your money. I'll see the leadership qualities in you. Then I will feel you can actually inspire people to become the same. Because leadership is more about causing people to become better. It's not even about the position. It's about inspiring people to become better. So when I see you have this model of a lifestyle, it becomes easy for me to put you there and give you a team to lead, because then they will see by observation. And that is the same thing that happens whether it is with parenting or even with marriage, that the person sees in you certain values and a vision that they feel will inspire them to become a better person. Because when this woman comes into my life, she needs to feel safe. She needs to feel that she's not losing anything, that she's gaining. And it is not just material. It has to be the person first. They need to feel they're not getting lost in this, they're losing themselves, they're losing their breath. They need to feel they're gaining confidence, self-belief. Their vision is becoming clearer. Their ability to lead even themselves is becoming even better. You know, Shatta, there are people who have money, but they don't have direction. We assume that when somebody has money, they know what they're doing. Some people just walked around and they stumbled into the money. They worked their way, they stumbled into the money, but they do not know how to make decisions. They don't know how to sustain that money. They don't know what to do with that money. This is why you will find people either in sports or in arts, in performances, music, and, you know, theater and movies. Somebody will have made money so much. Then in a few years, they've gone down. What they were lacking was that sense of direction, structure, government. If they had somebody in their life who was helping them to do that, they probably would have kept their money. So every man must have self-leadership. How do you carry yourself when you're alone, when you're single, before the woman comes in? Because you see, all these things we require of women mostly are things that are supposed to cover up for our own failures or inadequacies. So I want somebody who can cook because I can't cook. I want somebody who can clean because I cannot clean. I want somebody who can do this because I can't do it. When I'm on my own, can I do these things? If I can do them, then when the other person comes in, when they do it, I do not load it on them as slavery. They did not get employed as slaves. They have come in to help. I can do it, they can do it. So now we begin to work around who will do what at any one point, because it's now a team thing that we are doing. That you're a captain of a team does not mean that everybody is supposed to serve you. You actually become the greater servant. And that is what leadership is. That in leadership, you take more responsibility of service. You lead mostly by demonstration, and people follow mostly by observation. The balance, though, to leadership is the second L that I give for every husband, which is love. Mm-hmm. Love is usually the balance, Shatta, in anything. When you have power, love is what regulates that power. The reason you will not, you know, even when you're upset with your child, the reason you will not harm them is because you love them. So you are this adult, you're this strong person, you have this power, you can do to them anything when you're upset, but then that love regulates the power that you have. So you think about this person as somebody who's important to you, you think about them from a point of somebody you want to have in your life, and even when you're not happy with them, if you have to discipline, this discipline is regulated by that love. Like, I will tell you, you did 1, 2, 3, and this is the punishment. So you will go through this kind of discipline for this time. And after that, you get back into relating with your child because you love them. Love normally regulates power. And when people do not have love, then they will abuse power. When you find people who abuse power, whether it is in government or wherever it is because that's why we say they're heartless. There's no love. When you love people, you want to see people become better. You want to see people improve. You want to see people going forward. So even when you're leading them, you don't load on them every time that you are their leader. You will show them and demonstrate to them who they are supposed to become.
True. Yeah. Bazu, niko na swali nataka kuuliza about watu wenye wamesema waende wasome. Kuna watu wanaenda wanapata information and they want to use it against their people. You know, like they will go and read and they now wameambiwa the man is the head, and now they're using that to rule over people. You know, again, it's just spoken about love. We've said, first of all, for you to be a leader, you have to lead yourself. You know, for you to express love and show love, you have to love yourself. Now, do you think men have mastered the art of loving themselves?
I don't think men have mastered the art of loving themselves. I think it's the contrary. I think men have mastered the art of not loving themselves and taking care of themselves. Think about this, Anita, and it's even simpler this way. Think about, if you're a man and you're watching, okay? Think about this. When was the last time you went to the supermarket or the place just to buy yourself something? You know, and it wasn't like in traffic where ulipata mtena with a socks, ama mangothers, ukanunua. Now I'm talking about, after your boxer. When was the last time you bought yourself a brand new boxer? Or a brand new trouser? When was the last time you did that? Sorry, what on the yes, so this is the thing. I like to say this. Love is very important. It's very important that we love ourselves. It's very important that and loving ourselves means you love the good and the bad. So you have to know that there are things that you've done before that were wrong. There are things that you've done before that are your fault. There are things happening to you today that are your fault, and you deal with that. Then there are things that make you stand out. There are things that are your giftings, your talents. There are things that you do so easily. There are things that you're very good at. You might be, even if it's just you're good at managing, you're good at kupanga tu vitu ama kupanga wase. Kama kuna form, wenda msiona, unawachiwa, we panga. Kama kuna something going on, tunafaa kuchanga pesa, we give it to you because you're good with money. So you celebrate those things about yourself as well. And then you love yourself totally. You love how you look. You love how you know, how you look in the mirror. You try as much as you can to compare yourself with people. On the contrary, you aspire to be better. Then, like I said again, you look for other people. So people to learn from rather. So I think when you say the number 2L, today we're reading from the book of CJ. So the number 2L, if it is love, then we need to really we need to take it seriously. Start with, loving yourself, honestly looking at yourself. So that's introspection. That is looking deep inside yourself. And then also look at how you treat other people and being comfortable in your own skin. When you do that, then you can be able to love somebody else. You can be able to then give yourself to somebody else. And then also, CJ also talked about vision. These are things that tunafundishwa hata kama shule zinafungwa abruptly. Tunafundishwa from way back that, you're supposed to have, as a man, you're supposed to have vision. You're supposed to offer some sort of leadership, and you're supposed to look towards the future. There's a joke about afar you see means seeing, and now afar you see, but you're not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to look at a vision for yourself and also for the family and things that you want to be. You can also envision the kind of person you want to be. And so I feel like And even when it comes to making money, you make money, pay yourself and then you pay other people. But we are so lost in the hustle and bustle siku hizi that again as men we give. Ukipata pesa, you take it, and it's okay. It's okay to think about your kids. It's okay to think about your family, what they're going to eat. It's okay to think about all these things. But what about you? Because if you don't think about yourself, and even if you say, I don't have time to think about myself, but kidogo too. Just cut yourself some slack. Give yourself an opportunity to be a better person. Otherwise, itakuwa ni ngori. Ama utafanya ile kitu shata usemanga unashte. Shida ikitokea unashte. Kakikuwa na kangori unashte. Well, you're not supposed to do that. Sit, analyze, be yourself. Fanya mambo yako.
Bazu, before I go back to CJ, what book are you reading now? And I want to know who is your marriage mentor in this.
No, but anyway, because I need to catch a flight, guys. But let me tell you this. I had to sneak that in. Let me give you my final thoughts before I catch a flight. This is it. It's interesting to say, what book am I reading? Actually, let me shock you. I'm actually reading the Bible more now. And it's helping. And this is because, again, today, Leo Tumasema, we're giving CJ his flowers. I was listening to CJ and he said, there are some things that you can, and this, you cannot find, you're not brought up being a good father, a good son, a good this and this, but you can find some of those things, in the Bible. Let me be a bit preachy. When Jesus was speaking in the synagogue, he opened the scroll, right? And when he opened the scroll, he found where it is written. And then he read it out. And then he said, today these scriptures fulfilled. So basically, Jesus found himself in the scripture. So if you read the scripture, you'll find yourself. That's just, what that means. But again, whatever religion you are, whatever God it is that you pray to, the very basic tenet is this. If you can take away anything from today, is if you are expecting such love from somebody, then know that you should walk around with a mirror. If you're expecting wife material, hata wewe, make sure wewe material yako umeitaila vizuri, umeitaila na love, umeitaila na forgiveness, pale uko na mfuko ya joy, unaona uko na buttons za peace, unaona you tailored everything okay, so that when you now get somebody else, they become a mirror or they complement. Not they come and start working on you. Work on yourself so that you work together. And finally, asante sana. I missed my flight, but asante sana kwa View Travel, which is powered by Citizen TV. They got me on the next flight. Nairobi! Tunakuja. And Shatta, if you mention Manchester United, I've told you I've been reading the Bible. Thunder will strike you. Thunder! Thank you. Asanteni sana, guys. I gotta go. Peace and love.
Wallahi. Fika vizuri tupambania huku. Wacha unaangalia ambayo ukiwa huko mbali. Kuja hapa tupambane. Hati Manchester. Anyway. CJ, yeah. Before we take feedback from home, there is something you mentioned about vision, And most men just find themselves in life and you're living your life but you've never sat down and thought, vision mi naishi, is it mine or was it given to me? Some people have never sat down and thought, what is my natural gifting? Yeah. How do I nurture it? So they are they are squatters in their own lives. You're just pushing a vision, but if you ever sat down and thought, well, this was not your vision. So if there's someone right now that is watching and probably they've never sat down and asked themselves, who am I? This life I live, is it mine or was it imposed on me? How would you direct them?
The basic level for everybody, first of all, is just survival. The first thing we think about is, let me go to school, get a job, get some money. Most of the people that we are talking to today came from very humble financial backgrounds. So that's the first thing we were thinking about coming from. We wanted to be better. We wanted to live better lives than what we were afforded before. And our parents, grandparents, all those people, they did their best, but we felt we wanted to do better. And even those parents were taking their children to school so that those children will do better. That became the first level, for everybody, nearly everybody at adult level. That becomes their entry level, just the survival, break away from poverty. So they don't think too much about who they want to become. But as people begin to leave, they begin to look for meaning. One person talked about the hierarchy of needs. You know, you begin to look for meaning. So slowly you will have moved from the simplest and the basic stuff to get to the place where you want to find out who am I? And that's where somebody may start at a particular point. They grow, they get to a place, they say, I just want to be a recording artist, or I think I want to go into sports, or I want to join politics. And that doesn't look like who they were before. This pursuit of finding out who am I and what is the next level for me is innate in every human being. So when you begin to take care of the things that you thought were what you needed to take care of, which is your food, your shelter, your house, and all of that, and when that is settled, you begin now to focus on you. I have the job now, I have the house now, I have the car. What next? I have this family. What next? The only problem is that some people never get to know now where to go to ask those questions. That's the importance of having mentors, whether formally or informally, personally or virtually. It's important to seek to know, what do I do? I've got this feeling, I've got this drive. Look at the things that you keep feeling yourself being attracted to, the people you're attracted to. If I keep on being attracted to Shatter and what Shatter is doing, that means Shatter is highlighting an area in my life that I need to explore. If I keep on looking for, I'm looking for people, I'm just inspired by people who are in business and something, it may be, and I'm using maybe very strongly, it may be an indication that probably there's something within me that resonates with that. There's this story, it's an old story that is told of an eaglet that hatched among hens. And so it grew around chicken, and so it never thought that it would fly. And so it would just walk the ground like all the other chicken, regardless of the fact that it had all this power to fly. Until one day, it saw an eagle flying above them, and it looked up and saw, but that bird looks exactly like me, and that bird can fly. So it got challenged and said, let me try to fly. So the first, because of lack of belief, it flopped and came back down. And it kept on seeing that other bird flying. Then it began to develop that belief, and slowly it flew out from among the chicken, because its vision was limited to the surrounding and the people that it had, until it saw another eagle fly. When you see somebody doing something, or people doing something, and it keeps on pulling in something and igniting a fire within you, you probably need to go that direction. Either look for them, talk to them, try it out. You may not get things right the first time. This is one of the things, again, that we've got to talk about, like, do not fear failure. And that you failed does not mean that that is not who you're supposed to become. You may go into business, fail the first time, the second time, the third time. That does not mean you're not a businessman. You may go into politics and elected leadership, and you fail the first time or the second. It doesn't mean that is not what you're supposed to do. We have to stop thinking that when you're doing what you're supposed to do, you will have easy success in it. You'll have challenges, but there'll always be this power within you that keeps on rising and saying you can get back into it and doing it again. So I will tell men, find men who are doing the thing that ignites the fire in you. Find the people who are doing that thing. Talk to them. Ask them about their journey. If you cannot reach them in person, try to put their stories together. Look for people who are doing the thing that you feel when they're doing that thing, you see yourself in that space. Look at their journey, look at their stories, and begin to work on it step by step. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So we take, CJ, you've said something. I want to speak about it, but I have to take feedback first. I have a brother called Gabriel Maunda. He's very big on leadership. He keeps saying this: if God has made you an eagle, what are you doing with chicken? It relates to your story a lot. Okay, let's take feedback. Yeah, man. Mulisema ni paragraph? I have to get closer to this one. All right. A husband material is one who provides leadership in the family. Decisive, protective. I got a man I love. He's jobless. I got a job. I opened him a good and big biz. but things are upside down. He's just there. I make all decisions, even regarding kids' schooling. Where? It's draining. He is not taking charge, yet he's empowered. I am tired. Okay, pole mami. I hope he's watching and listening. He needs to do something about it. Shiro, outer Embakasi, husband material is God-fearing, loving, understanding, responsible, trustworthy, and decisive. Mufa, that one is reading from CJ's book. I like it. Should be supportive, caring, and able to provide to his family, and also loving. Okay. For me, if a man is responsible in any way in his family, that will make him to be a husband material. All right. Mwanaume ni kazi bwana. A pastor in the house, the inspiration, the source of knowledge, a park of love, a socialist, and never, ever, ever a capitalist. Where? Okay, and never, ever a capitalist. Well, it's good at least you know what you want from a man. Now the question is, does the man know what you want from him? Kuna huyo CJ amesema, as you wind up, huyo amesema that she's even opened a biz for him, but he's not taking charge. You know, how would you advise her? How does she approach it? How does she tell him now, you know, I think you need to do ABCD before it blows out?
You see, the first mistake with that way is that it went against the first L that I gave, which is leadership.
Leadership, yes.
And because we said leadership has to begin with the person, self-leadership. So when you say you opened the business for this person, did they want it?
Yeah.
Did they want it?
That is that. Maybe not.
Maybe not, you know. So she tried to fix the problem. She became the leader. And these are not things that you wake up and find in somebody. You will see these things even before you marry them. You will see that. You'll be talking to them and you're, so where are you? This is what I talked about Shatta, when I said, you know, if I find Shatta to be a leader, then I will make Shatta to be a positional leader. There are two things. There's position, there's disposition. How you carry yourself, disposition. Then position is now where the privilege you've been put in, like you're head of a department or something. But it is disposition that brings us to the place of position. If I find that you're responsible, I find that you can inspire the people, I find that you can motivate them, it becomes very easy for me to put you in the position. But even if I don't, I'll find people gravitating towards you because they see in you what they want to become. Now, we look at these things during the courtship and dating periods and stuff, and sometimes people want to ignore that because they focus on the number 2L, which is love, which is why I didn't start with it. They focus on the number 2L. So this person will be chatting you the whole day. But if you ask him, where are you? What are you doing? He says, I'm just home. You cannot see the self-drive in this person. And they will tell you, you know, I've sent applications everywhere. There are no jobs. No matter how many applications you have sent, you cannot be sending everything from the comfort of your house. Somewhere along the line, you need to go out, knock a door, meet somebody, you know, meet some people. Talk about, I went out to meet some friends because I'm looking for opportunities. I heard that there's some people doing something. I talked to my friends to just allow me to be a volunteer, be with them somewhere. That is now somebody showing you leadership. Self-leadership. But if you believe that the person loves you, you know, he goes nowhere, so you think he's always indoors, at least he's not going out with other girls, whatever, he's a faithful man, so he's just there, he loves me, and the whole day, after every 30 minutes, he's checking on you, hi babe, hi babe, hi babe. You're doing that, you focus only on the love. Once this love brings you together, in marriage, you'll begin to get frustrated over the aspect of leadership because you will be pushing, and you know how to push a car that has not been released on neutral is very difficult.
True that.
The thing is on parking. And you tell the guy, okay, we are pushing, start it. And the guy has not released the gears from parking.
Yes.
So sometimes we overlook these things in people, hoping that along the line they will become better. If you find a man, he's waking up, going to a kiosk, pushing himself. He's going to Gikomba, he's going to Marikiti, getting his stuff or something.
Yes.
He may not have money, but he has leadership. He has vision over his life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Please tell us your social media handles.
CJ Atemo everywhere. LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. There's also the page CJ Atemo School of Leadership over there. Instagram as well.
Kabisa. If you are a man watching today, hizo vitu zote CJ amesema ziandike chini, usisahau, andika tu chini sahi. Not those things. You must have vision. You must be a leader of yourself before you lead other people, and you must also lead with love, because too much is given, much is expected. Shazmin Bank everywhere. Roberta Bobby kila pale, na pia kwa website Love and Orgasms. Willis Raburu everywhere. Shatter Boy Facebook, Shatter Boy. Wapengine ni Facebook tu, Shatter_boy Instagram, Shatter Tikitaka Twitter, Shatter Boy YouTube. Big up the Maunda family, big up Gabriel Maunda hapa Savannah, big up Jaiman Riley. Muo life. Simumeelewa?